Hi, you guys. Oh, I was about to have like a full-blown conversation, like, how are you? JK. So, it has been so long, you guys. Oh my gosh. I gotta stop saying I'm sorry, because when you're really sorry, you change your actions. So, I'm just gonna change my ways and start flying more, so I'll do better. Don't be sorry, be better. Got it. So, I have been flying so much, it has been insane, and I'm like just having the time to just sit and just catch up with you guys and touch on a subject that I have really been like dying to talk about, and you guys constantly are emailing me and messaging me about it, so definitely want to get into that. Just a quick update. I have been flying a lot. I have been sick. I took some time for myself because mental health is just so important, especially in this like industry. So I just took some time for myself just to like get my thoughts together and just, you know, just be to myself. So that's like why I've really been gone and missing. Just, you know, I really had to take some time and just, sometimes you just got to do that. So in other news, there has been a subject. You guys are constantly emailing me, DMing me, Snapchatting me, everything, asking me, and I want to just dive into this because I think it's so important. So things you really need to consider before becoming a flight attendant. And I think this is so important. This is probably the most important video I've ever made, simply because people want to become a flight attendant for the benefits, and that's all cool and everything, like, yeah, woo, we get to fly for free. But if this isn't something that you like really love doing, you won't last long. It doesn't matter like how great the benefits are. We get benefits with literally everything, but if you just absolutely hate it, there's flying for free is just not going to be worth it for you. So let's go into this. So number one is the obvious, is just being away from your family. I've only been a flight attendant for 2 months, and I've missed Mother's Day, both of my nephews' graduations, and it's just something that, you know, I just couldn't control. It's my schedule. Being on a reserve, being a reserve flight attendant, you literally have no control over your schedule. It's just all what crew scheduling wants you to do. Now, they do let you like drop days and do things like that, but you know, you want to get your guaranteed pay, so it's not suggested. So being away from your family is a really big thing. I've had a lot of you as single mothers come to me like asking like, how is it possible for, you know, you to become a flight attendant? And honestly, someone speaking with no kids, I'm sorry, I just don't see how it's possible. I wouldn't even want to be away from my child that long, to be honest. Training in itself, you can't leave. That's already a month, sometimes 2 months, depending on the airline. And it's just, you know, I couldn't see myself leaving my kid like that. And then just also, it's hard for me just being away from my mom and my nephews and my sister for this long, because I've always been there with them. So that's been like a really huge adjustment. If you're a really huge family person, or if you're a single parent with like no support, I just really don't see how it's possible for you to become a flight attendant. Your schedule is just like everywhere, so you never really know your schedule. So I've been pretty good with it. I have been pre-bidding for a certain reserve block line in RBO, and it pretty much puts all of my off days consecutively, and then like one here and there. So as far as like my schedule looks, it'll always say reserve, 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 and then we're like, okay, we can preference to be on reserve from this time and this time. But as far as the destination, like crew scheduling can call you and you can pretty much go anywhere. So you never know where you're going to be. You never know what your schedule is going to look like. You can always preference it. They try to give us some leeway with that. They try to give us, I feel like they try to paint us a picture like, oh yeah, you think you have control over your life, but little do you know. That's exactly exactly how I feel. I feel like crew scheduling like mocks me behind the scenes. Like, oh, that's what you preference for? Psych, I'm giving you the opposite. But sometimes I do get lucky and I get what I want, but you really just never know what your schedule is going to look like. So it's really hard to plan things. I literally take things day by day. Sometimes I take it hour by hour simply because I just don't know, you know, where I'm going to be, what my schedule is going to look like and things like that. Like, you'll know you're on reserve, but you don't know if you're going to get called and you're going to be across the country. You don't know if you're going to be in a different country. So if you're used to having a set schedule and you know where you're going to be at this certain time, this definitely may not be the career move for you, because I rarely know where I am sometimes, and it's just like I don't know where I'm going to go. So yeah, it's just, you know, like if you're just not, if you don't do well with that, this probably isn't the best career move for you. So I would definitely think harder on that. Alright, so the next thing is it's a set pay as a reserve flight attendant. So we get this thing called our guarantee pay, and it's pretty much, even though we're on reserve, people think that since you're on reserve and if you don't fly you don't get paid, but that's not true. On reserve you get a set guaranteed amount of hours pay per month, and from there you can decide whether it decreases or if it increases. So if it decreases, that means that you dropped your days, because if you drop your days, you're pretty much going below. They're not going to pay you the guaranteed if you're not even on call for that time. Or you can go above it by picking up overtime on your off days. So if you're a type of person where it's just like, these are my set days that I'm off, these are my set days that I'm working, but you're just not comfortable with only having a set amount of money, and honestly it's not much as a reserve flight attendant, then you might want to reconsider this career, because that's exactly what it's like. I don't see a fluctuation in my paycheck unless I pick up overtime, and I do that constantly because of the RBL I pick up. So yeah, if you have another job and you're able to like coincide it with being a flight attendant, that's really cool. I have classmates that do that. I personally can't do that. I'm really good with juggling this flight attendant life, and if I add anything to the equation, I just might pass out because it's just too much. But other people are different. I'm just being honest with you guys. I cannot. It's just not gonna happen. So yes, you get a set pay, and that's your guaranteed, and it will not fluctuate unless you drop days, and then your pay will decrease, and it will not go up unless you pick up overtime. And then of course that changes when you get a schedule, but we'll talk about that when I get there, because right now I'm still on reserve, so I don't know much about that. But as soon as I get there, I will talk to you guys more about it. And number 4, oh my gosh, this is so important, because people just automatically go for the airline that pays more, and I really feel like you should consider the airline you want to work for well before you go into training, because it's all cool to be getting like paid more and everything, but if you're a person that gets really exhausted from a 2-hour flight, you may not want to go to mainline, because you fly international and some of your flights are 8 hours. Some of them are even longer than that, you know, flying to Tokyo and everything. So a lot of people don't even know about regional carriers and mainline and things. To be honest, I did not know anything about Envoy when I applied, or after I applied. I will admit, when they called me for my face-to-face, I did look things up, because I always research it, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is like really like, you know, I could see myself doing this. But yeah, always like research the airline you want to work for. There's so many things that are entailed in it. Some airlines have unions, some of them don't. Some of them go like all international, everywhere, Europe, you know, China, Russia, that types of thing. Some of them just go a little bit, like my airline, like I go to Canada, Bahamas, things like that. Nothing too crazy. So always like research the airline you want to go for. It's cool to be getting paid more, you guys, but honestly, your flight attendant career can be ruined mentally by the airline you work for. You will absolutely think that being a flight attendant is stupid and ridiculous because the airline that you chose to go with ruined that for you. So really research it and look into the things that you know you want. If you're a person that you know you want this to be your career, but you also know you want to always be, you know, at least in the same country as your kids or your husband or whatever, you might not want to go to mainline because, yeah, it just gets thrown in the air. That's a whole nother ballpark. I'm a regional carrier, guys. One day I may go to mainline, but right now, at least I know I'm not as far from my family as I would be. You know, time zones aren't that crazy. It's just a few hours versus like a whole day's difference if you're in like Spain or something. So definitely research your airline before, you know, just jumping like headfirst into this. Number 5, if you're not a person that can adjust to being alone well, this may not be the career for you. You do have your crew and things like that, but if you're used to making those long-term connections and things like that, this isn't really that type of position. You don't see the same people every day. You don't have the same coworkers every day. It can become very lonely, and especially if you're dating and you have a partner that doesn't really understand that, because when you're in the air, a lot of the times you can't use your cell phones. So it's like, you know, it can be very lonely. So if you're not a person that can cope with loneliness well, that can be comfortable with your own company, or find something that can distract you from the loneliness, then you may want to reconsider being a flight attendant, because that's a really huge part of it. You're really like by yourself a lot of the time. So definitely think about that. And that also ties into number 6. You have a lot of just one-time interactions. Since flying, I've probably had the same first officer twice, but every other time I've had a different crew. I have not seen the same people. I've seen them maybe in the crew room, we catch up, say hey or whatever, but other than that, you're seeing like hundreds of new faces daily, and if that's not something you're okay with, then you really want to reconsider this career. It's a whole lot of one-time interactions. You see people once and then it's just like, all right, well, it was nice to meet you. And that's why a lot of people are so they laugh at flight attendants, and it was just, I've had like a couple people laugh at me because we meet like our crew and it's like we pretty much spill our life out. They know everything about us in the matter of the trip, and then after that we never see them again. And it's like we're the best of friends for our trip, and then after that it's like, all right, see you when I see you. So yeah, it's a lot of one-time interactions. If you're a person that's used to seeing the same types of people every day, you know, like with office jobs, you sit next to the same people or you have the same team, and you know, you're used to like after the office, you know, on a Friday, like going to get some drinks and, you know, like making those connections, end up like having best friends and stuff. It's possible. I have a really close friend who's a flight attendant and we hang out a lot, but our schedules do conflict. Like I haven't seen her in maybe like a week or so. So it's hard. Just keep that in mind and really like think about it. It doesn't sound like a big deal now when you're thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna be a flight attendant, I can't wait. But after like the hype kind of dies, you're just like, okay, well, it's just me here. So really think about that, guys. Number 7. So a lot of people think they're just like, oh, so hey T, where are you going this week? And I'm just like, back to my crash pad. So a lot of people think just because flight attendants travel for free that we're traveling all the time. And that's not true, because even though we travel for free, that does not mean that our hotels are free, that our food when we travel is like for free. That does not mean that everything else is for free. So on a reserve like paycheck, and then also paying for like whatever bills you may have, such as your crash pad and things like that, it actually makes it pretty hard to travel. So you get this job, if you only get it for the benefits, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna travel and stuff. If you didn't save up like a really good amount of money prior to becoming a flight attendant, there's there's a very unlikely chance that you're just going to be traveling, because it's going to be really hard for you to maintain your bills and for you to travel. So as a reserve flight attendant, you really have to like think about this, like, okay, I am going to have this set pay. I can travel for free. I can literally go anywhere. But if I don't have, you know, friends or something that are willing to like split hotel costs with me and things like that, it makes it really hard to travel. So really think about that. If you're only doing this job for the benefits, think about like either saving like a whole lot of money so that you can really travel for free, or yeah, just reconsider another career where you can travel for free. All right, number 8. So this is why a lot of people end up losing people when it comes to training, is they find out where they're going to be based. So no matter what you hear from any single airline or whatever, no one can guarantee where you're going to be based. So if you know for certain that you're not moving away from your home, like you already bought it, you have a mortgage, your kids are still in school, and you're deciding on becoming a flight attendant, and you're just like, I'm not moving, you're dead set on that, don't even go to the interview. Like, don't even apply, to be honest, because the likelihood of you getting based where you live is like slim to none. Like, 2 people in my class of 17 got really lucky and they got based where they live, but they still live like 2 hours away from the airport, so they still have to have somewhere else closer to live, you know, just in case they do get called. So it's like, if you can't, that's literally in the job description that you're going to relocate. And I stress this so much because it just like, it blew me when we lost people because of our base, and it's just like, you knew that you were going to have to relocate. Did you just like think that that was a just kidding sidebar? So yeah, I'm sorry, I still think about that because that's literally the main reason why we lost so many people. Oh, I cannot shake this cough. Yes, so if you know that, okay, I'm just not even going to like relocate, just don't even do it. Don't apply, find something else. Seriously, because there's a 98.99999% chance you're going to have to be based elsewhere from where you live. So think about that. And number 9, which is the last thing for me, is you have to be a really self-sufficient person. You can't be someone that's really dependent on your manager like managing you. It's really just you. So if you're not the one like confirming your assignments through crew scheduling or your apps or things like that, it all comes back on you, because this job has become so app-based. I know before, a lot of the flight attendants were saying like they used to bid on paper and then they used to turn it in. They don't even bother bidding anymore because it's, you know, it's like on a computer based like app system. So it's just, if you know that, yeah, if you know that you have to be micromanaged in order to be successful at work, this really is not the job for you, because that's why I love it so much. I hate someone breathing down my neck all the time telling me what to do. Like, just call me when I'm doing something wrong. And that's exactly what they do. They only call you when you're doing something wrong. Other than that, you're fine. You're in the clear. So those are the top suggestions that I have, the things that you should consider before becoming a flight attendant. And I hope you guys really take those into consideration, because this is an amazing career, but it's only amazing to people that can handle it and to people that have really like put the thought into it. So really think about those things that I said. You guys have been emailing me. I hope this video helps. And we just reached over 800 subscribers, so we're so close. I will be announcing the giveaway things when we get to 850, so I'm really excited. And I also wanted to know, do you guys think I should do 1,000 subscriber photo shoot. I think that would be really cute and do like a behind the scenes type thing. I love taking pictures and I love having to buy balloons and stuff. So if you guys are interested in me doing that, definitely let me know. I'll probably like do it anyway, but if you guys have ideas, I'm so open to them. I have like some ideas in mind, like either like white and gold or red and gold, or maybe wearing like my uniform. I don't know, you guys just let me know. But I have 2 3-day trips coming up, and then I'm going on vacation, so I'm gonna try to vlog like all of that. So lots of vlogs coming your way. So thank you guys for listening and being patient with me. I'll travel with you beautiful people soon.